A friend and I purchased 2 ounces of Mimosa hostilis root bark from space aliens from the planet Tripton. This was pulverized in a stone mortar and pestle, and put in a pot with 1 liter bottled water, and 3 tablespoons lemon juice. A minute amount of Voacanga africana extract was added, doubtful it contributed to the effects. It was just available. And the whole mess brought to a boil. It was boiled for about 1 hour, then strained and the sludge boiled for another hour in a fresh liter of bottled water and lemon juice. The combined filtered liquids, which still had quite a bit of sludge from particles small enough to go through a T-shirt, were boiled down for about a half hour to 600 milliliters of thick, shit brown liquid, with purplish tones. This was put into the freezer to cool. We both at this point ate 1 tablespoon each of crushed Peganum harmala, Syrian Rue, seeds. We waited about 15 minutes, then each drank 100 milliliters of liquid. We each originally poured 150 milliliters, a quarter of the total, but were unable to force down the last shot. Within 5 minutes, we both hurled. And I mean hurled. Projectile vomit, which was good, as it came out too fast to be able to taste the foul brew again. Hurling got rid of all the nausea. Also, mid-hurl, the toiled suddenly shifted dimensions, telescoping into another universe. The trip kicked in by the time I flushed the toilet. I washed my face and lay down. My friend did the same when he finished puking, and was also tripping. At this point my roommate was trying to talk to us, and we both noticed that we would forget the beginning of his sentences by the time he finished them. We also both noticed that we'd forget the beginning of our own sentences before finishing them. Needless to say, it was a quite unusual conversation. Voices sounded very distant and hollow. I soon abandoned attempts at speech and lay there enjoying the spectacular visuals, both open and closed eye. One unusual effect of ayahuasca is persistent closed-eye visuals. You can have your eyes closed, and imagine intensely vivid sceneries. You could open your eyes to try to talk to someone, then close your eyes when done, and the same scene would be there, identical and unchanged. There was also a great deal of conscious control over the visuals. We put on The Sky of Mind, a Ray Lynch tape, strange ambient, new age shit played on tubular bells. I felt my body melt, when I could feel it at all, to the ethereal notes. We turned on a black light partway through the peak, which took it to a whole other level. Near the end of the peak, I brought out a few cartridges of nitrous oxide I'd saved. The ayahuasca nitrous synergy is very good. Cosmic euphoria, with vivid closed-eye visuals and accompanying emotional fantasies. This was my friend's first ayahuasca experience, although he was very familiar with LSD, psilocybin, and had smoked 5-MeO-DMT 3 times. He said he thought it was better than any of those, and loved it. It was my first experience with ayahuasca in a social setting, about my 6th time total. I find that during the peak, socialization is nearly impossible, though you do have a psychic awareness that other people are in fact present. Talking is pointless, however. Once the peak passes though, it has a very nice social dimension to it, and conversation flows easily and ranges broadly, though the topic of how wonderful ayahuasca is came up quite frequently. Peak lasted about 1 hour, with lingering effects for another 2 hours or so. This was a full-blown +3, and I felt several times on the edge of a +4 breakthrough when I closed my eyes and everyone was quiet. Conversation would pull me back to the +3 level though. This was a very pleasant dream. I feel good for having initiated another person into the mysteries of the good medicine.